Welcome back to Old School Sports and our Out of the Park Baseball 24 playthrough of the Buffalo Wings. We have finally made it to opening day of the 2036 season. See if we can get the Buffalo Wings back into the playoffs for a ninth straight year this season and hopefully win our second championship in 3 years. You can see we're 19th in budget and 19th in baseball in player payroll, with the loyal fans of Buffalo and some good performance on the field. Our fan loyalty moved up to extreme a few months ago. Fan interest, as it often is off the charts. That said, we still deal with the issues of playing in a small market. Have a little bit of money available if we want to add some talent as we get closer to the trade deadline. Honestly, we're going in with a roster pretty similar to the one that won 108 games a year ago that ended up falling in the seventh game of the NLCS to the eventual world champion Colorado Rockies. On our pitching staff, there's really only two changes. We had brought on before the trade deadline last year Chris Staten as our closer. He was looking for pretty big money, so we made a trade for Pat Mems this offseason to take over as our closer for this upcoming year. And then we moved on from Andrew Painter, a longtime starter for the Wings who had worked primarily out of the bullpen in a stopper role and then kind of a swingman role the last couple of years. The all-time leader in wins for this Buffalo franchise at this point with 77. He moved on to greener pastures as well, and we replaced him with Mike Waters, 24-year-old who we picked in the 20th round less than 3 years ago out of Mississippi State. Has had a nice rise through our farm system, was pretty productive in Albany last year, and it was time to give him a chance. But other than that, the 11 guys on our pitching staff, besides those two, are all the same as a year ago, and by and large, they're going to be used in pretty similar roles this season as well. Similarly, when we look at our everyday players, there's really only two changes. We've moved on from Marcelo Meyer, who was kind of our starting second baseman against right-handed pitching last year. Pretty good defensive player, not all that productive offensively. And we've definitely lost some positional versatility and defensive versatility because the young prospect Arturo Flores is up as an infielder with us finally this year. So he should definitely provide more offense than Meyer did, but is not as good defensively and is a lot less diversified defensively. So if we do have some injuries in the infield, we'll probably need to go down and find someone who can play second or short for us rather than another guy with a bat. And then the only other change is we've moved on from Jace Barofin, and we've kind of replaced him in a way with James Wood, although both Wood and Barofin were on the 26-man roster for the majority of last regular season. Wood did lose his spot on the 26-man roster in September when he got hurt. Ended up not even making the playoff roster. But Barofin was a free agent. He has since signed back with the Yankees. So Wood is essentially taking his spot. We're going to give Wood a chance again to be our everyday center fielder against right-handed pitching, see if maybe we can find lightning in a bottle, given that he does have pretty good home run power and pretty good ability to draw walks against right-handed pitching at this point. Not as good defensively as the younger guys, Gaglia and Hardage in center field, but we're going to give Wood the shot coming out of spring training. And other than that, the other 11 of our position players, or more accurately 12, since Juan Estrada, one of our starting pitchers, is a two-way guy, are all the same as a year ago. The one change that we've made modestly with Meyer being gone as our second baseman against right-handed pitching, Deshaun Seifu slides back into that role. Joe Edwards is going to get an opportunity to be our everyday third baseman against both righties and lefties this year. So that probably weakens our infield defense a little bit compared to a year ago. But hopefully our offense will be able to batter our opponents into submission, and our excellent pitching staff will deliver the goods there, and we'll be able to compensate a bit for defense and fielding that may not be as good as we have had in previous years. Before the season does get started, we'll just take a quick look at our farm system. Up to second overall, and we have at this point six top 100 prospects. Joe Gallagher, the fifth prospect in baseball in AAA, former international find Guadalupe Amezcua had a tough year in rookie ball last year. He'll be back there this year. We promoted David Mendoza, who was a scouting discovery also towards the end of last 2 seasons ago. Number 35 prospect in baseball. We'll see what he can do in rookie ball. Alexis Mendoza, the starting pitcher who made it up to AAA at the end of last year, could be helping us at the majors in the not-so-distant future. Eric Barbarito, former first-round draft pick, 21-year-old, going to be starting the year in A-ball. Hopefully he could progress maybe to AA by the end of this year. And then, of course, Arturo Flores, the number 97 prospect in baseball, going to get a chance at the major league level this year as a regular member of the 26-man roster, although he'll only initially be playing regularly against left-handed pitching. And with that, it's time to take a look at the predictions and get the season underway. In the American League, the Blue Jays projected to win the AL East. Seattle Mariners, with their incredible pitching staff, projected to win 101 games, allow only 525 runs this year with an ERA below 3. Over in the National League, our stranglehold for the past 3 seasons on the NL East is expected to end. Mets expected to edge us by 2 games and the Phillies by 4 games in what looks like an interesting battle. And the world champion Rockies are expected to win the National League West this year. Shamar Jenneret, last year's MVP, 2 years ago was the World Series MVP, expected to have another monster season, hitting 300 with 42 homers and 123 ribbies. We'll be following his performance all year because although he's been excellent the 2 years he's been with us, leading the league in ribbies both years, he does have the opportunity to opt out of his contract after this season. And while we'd hate to lose his bat, if he does opt out, that potentially makes it easier for us to keep Deshaun Seifu around and sign him to extension. And it also potentially makes us easier for us to keep Alexis Barajas, our ace, for the long term. Speaking of our ace, Alexis Barajas, and our number 2 starter, Sincere Shazier, they are both expected to have strong seasons for us, at least in the simulation that they ran to make the projections for the 2036 season. And with that, it is time to get this thing underway. And even though we have turned managerial duties over to our former bench coach for this season, we are going to still play out opening day. It's become a tradition in this Buffalo Wings series. So after that intro, you're only going to get 1 game of action here. We've got a tough pitching matchup. Shazier, our number 2 starter, is on the mound because our manager had control of the rotation in spring training. We hadn't changed things over yet, and he let Barajas throw 22 pitches the last day of spring training, so he technically needs another day of rest. And it'll be a rare situation where Shazier or Barajas aren't considered the better pitcher. Jeff Dover, the excellent pitcher for Washington, on the mound today. He's had an excellent career. You can see he's led the National League in games started twice, innings pitched 3 times, strikeouts once, perennial all-star, and I believe he's also won at least 1 Cy Young Award. Yeah, 1 Cy Young Award and 3 All-Stars at this point, and he's only 28 years old. So it could be a challenging matchup for us, but we'll be on the road on opening day as we try to get this team Back to the NL East title is the first goal. Hopefully the best record in baseball and home field advantage is the second goal. Third goal is to get this team a second pennant, and the fourth goal is to get this team a second World Series title. And here on opening day, Deshaun Seifu, as always, leading off for the Buffalo Wings. He's trying to lead the National League in stolen bases for a 9th consecutive season this year. And he's also coming off of the first batting title of his career. Flies out to left to start things off. Juan Estrada, the two-way player, up. He goes down swinging. And now Mike Heiner grounds it to second for... Ooh, he beat it out. Infield single for Mike Heiner. So Shamar Jenneret now up with a runner on first. 0-2 count to Jenneret, and he goes down looking. So no runs on one hit for Buffalo. Go to the bottom of the first. Sincere Shazier starting things off for us against Jose Salas. And Salas flies out to right field. Shazier now going after Tristan Casas, and Casas with the first hit of the year for Washington. We are not going to throw over. We're going to go right after the three-hitter Jimmy Burns, and he flies out to right for the second out of the inning. And now the cleanup hitter Filipio Sapiara up. And Sapiara singles to right field. So runners on first and second now with 2 outs for Shazier, going after Lane Chasen. 2-0 count, and Chasen pops that one out to right to end the inning. Estrada makes the play. So no runs in the first inning for either team. Bobby Bolig leading off the top of the second for us against the excellent Jeff Dover. And Bolig draws a walk. Bolig has some speed too. We're going to have Anderson take a pitch here. He takes a ball, and now we are going to send Bolig. And Bolig easily steals second. Gets in there without a throw after the catcher dropped the ball. So a 2-0 count now. Runner on second for Steve Anderson. And Anderson gives that one a ride. It is gone. First home run of the year for Steve Anderson. The young shortstop drives in Bobby Bolig. And a 2-0 lead here for Buffalo in the top of the second off of the excellent pitcher Jeff Dover. Joe Edwards up now. And he pops out to second. James Wood, first at-bat of the season. Weren't sure whether he was going to end up back with us or not, but he did. And he pops out also to second. And now Walt Miller, the catcher, up. And Miller pops that one out to right field to end the inning. So 2 runs on 1 hit, the home run for Steve Anderson. And we head to the bottom of the second, a 2-0 lead for our Buffalo Wings. So we've staked Sincere Shazier out to a lead, going up against Jadel Flores here. And Flores starts things off with a single, so we'd love to have a clean inning after giving up or after taking the lead. Not to be the case here. Joel Rogers grounds it down to third. 1 out, 5-4, no relay over to first. Ethan Salas now up with the runner on first. He grounds it to short, 6-4-3, and Shazier out of the inning here. 2-0 Buffalo as we head to the top of the third and the top of the order for the Buffalo Wings with Deshaun Seifu back up against Jeff Dover. 1-2 count to Seifu, and he strikes out. Juan Estrada now up, and Estrada pops it to short for the second out of the inning. Heiner got things started a little bit with 2 outs in the top of the first. We'll see if he can do something here. and a sliding catch in left field. So a 1-2-3 inning for Buffalo here, and we'll go to the bottom of the third. Buffalo 2, Washington nothing. Sincere Shazier going after the shortstop Dylan Cupp, and Cupp flies out to center, back to the top of the order to Jose Salas. Full count to Salas, and got him looking. And now going after Tristan Casas again. Casas grounds it down to third. So a 1-2-3 inning for both pitchers here in the third. 2-0 Buffalo as we head to the top of the fourth. Cleanup man Shamar Jenneret up against Jeff Dover. And Jenneret, his first hit of the year, singles to left field. That brings up Bobby Bolig. Jenneret does not have a lot of speed, not a very good base runner, so Bolig just going to hit away, and he strikes out. Strikeout number 4 for Jeff Dover. Steve Anderson, who hit the home run last time up, 1-2 count. And Anderson flies out to left for the second out of the inning. So now Joe Edwards up, full count to Edwards. He grounds it to short. They go the long way, 6-3, and the inning is over after the leadoff single by Shamar Jenneret. Heading now to the bottom of the fourth, Shazier still on the mound. He's thrown just 32 pitches, going after Jimmy Burns. And Burns drives that one to the gap in right. Going to be a double for Jimmy Burns to get the inning started. So now the cleanup hitter up, Filipio Sapiara. And the ball gets by the catcher, and Burns goes to third. So nice opportunity here for Washington to get at least one run back. And we are having trouble. Walt Miller having a tough job holding on to the ball. 1-2 count to Sapiara now. And he grounds it down to first. Sacrifice gets the run in. So 2-1 lead for Buffalo. Lane Chasen now up with 1 out. 1-2 count to Chasen. Shazier struck him out. That's only the second strikeout of the day for Shazier. Now going up against Jadil Flores. 1-1 count to Flores. And he grounds it to short for the third out of the inning. So 1 run on 1 hit for Washington. The leadoff double ended up coming around. 2-1 lead for Buffalo, heading to the top of the fifth. And James Wood up for the Buffalo Wings against Dover. And Wood gives that one a ride, and it gets out. So James Wood, with his first home run of the season for the Buffalo Wings, talked about how whether or not we were going to bring him back was a big question. And he's made that look like a decent decision, at least for one day. The catcher, Walt Miller, now up. And Walt Miller flies out to center for the first out of the inning. Back to the top of the order with Deshaun Seifu. And Seifu flies out to left, 2 away. And Juan Estrada now up. And Estrada singles up the middle there, keep the inning alive. Give Mike Heiner a chance with 2 outs and a runner on first. And Heiner, a diving catch by Burns, the left fielder. That one looked like it could have dropped if he hadn't made that diving catch. That was extra bases, but 1 run on 2 hits for Buffalo. The home run by Wood accounts for the run. 3-1 Buffalo as we head to the bottom of the fifth. That was a rougher inning in the fourth for Shazier through 20 pitches, but still in only 52 through 4 innings, so we should be able to get some more out of him. Going after the bottom order of the order here, the number 7 hitter, center fielder Joel Rogers up first, and he grounds it down to Seifu, 4-3, 1 away. Going after the catcher Ethan Salas now. And Salas dumps a single in front of the center fielder. go after the shortstop now, the number 9 hitter Dylan Cupp. 1-0 count to Cupp. Cupp grounds it to short. Diving play by the shortstop, Anderson, and he makes the throw to first for 1 out. Runner moves to second. Top of the order now up with Jose Salas. And he grounds that one to the pitcher. And infield hit for Salas. Looks like it took a bit of a weird bounce. So now runners on the corners. 2-2 count to Tristan Casas, and he comes through with a single to left field to score the second run of the game for Washington. Runners on first and second now, still 2 out, 65 pitches for Shazier, going after the right-hander Jimmy Burns, who came up with the double last inning to help score the first run for the team. And Jimmy Burns, another hit. So the bases are loaded. We're trying to get this last out for Shazier to guarantee that he can get a W here on opening day, but we may be costing ourselves the game. Bases loaded going up against Filippo Sapiara. Shazier's thrown only 68 pitches, although the lefty on righty matchup is not perfect from our perspective. We've got confidence in Shazier. 2-1 count. And he gets the grounder to short to end the inning. So they go 6-4 to end it. A couple of runs over the last 2 innings for Washington, but a 3-2 lead for Buffalo as we head to the top of the 6th. Jeanneret leading things off against Jeff Dover, who's thrown 77 pitches for the Nationals today. And Jeanneret goes down looking. Bobby Bolig up with 1 out now. Rounds it back to first for the second out of the inning. And Steve Anderson up now, 2-1 count Anderson. And he grounds that one down to the pitcher. And he beats it out for an infield single. Actually, it was the first baseman trying to make the play to the pitcher, but a infield single for Steve Anderson, who's been in the middle of a lot today. Joe Edwards up now, Dover at 89 pitches. Looks like he's starting to tire. 3-1 count, and Edwards, with that good eye, draws a walk here. So runners on first and second now for James Wood. Hit a home run his last time up. 2-2 count to Wood, and he goes down swinging to end the inning. So a 3-2 lead for Buffalo as we head to the bottom of the 6th. And we are going to make a call to the bullpen now. Only 72. Actually, we're not. Shazier's only 72 pitches. Last inning was ugly, but we've got 2 righties and a switch hitter expected this inning. He still hasn't thrown too many pitches. We'll have a short leash with him, but we're going to let Shazier at least face Lane Chasen here. Full count. And he lost him. A leadoff walk to Chasen. Jado Flores now, another full count, and 2 walks in a row for Sincere Shazier. And he's just lost it. We've let him walk 3 batters in a row, and now we're going to make things very difficult on our bullpen. Probably have not been aggressive enough with the way we've managed that one, but we are going to go to Lauren Walborn, or not Lauren Walborn, we are going to actually go to Matthew Wenzel here and see if he can get the one lefty. And Ethan Salas, and we're going to put the infield at double play depth, willing to trade an out for a run here, although that will mean that after all of our machinations last inning to ensure that Shazier would get the 5 innings to qualify for the W, he'll give up the W if we trade a run for an out here, but that's the position we find ourselves in after 3 straight walks by Shazier. And Wenzel with an 0-2 count, and he gives up a single, and that's going to tie things up here. bases are still loaded with no outs for Washington. And Dylan Cupp drives an extra base hit to the gap in the left field, and that 3-run double is going to clear the bases. So poor managerial decision making and trying to artificially get a pitcher a W probably cost us here 4 runs for Washington, and there's still not even an out in this inning yet. Finally an out as Wenzel gets Salas to pop up. Tristan Casas, the left-handed hitter, now up against Wenzel. And Wenzel struck him out for the second out of the inning. And now going against Jimmy Burns, the number 3 hitter. And Burns pops up to right to end it. But a big inning for Washington, 4 runs, and they take a 6-3 lead into the top of the 7th. Dover, who's thrown 99 pitches, is still on the mound. Walt Miller, the catcher, number 9 hitter, strikes out to start things. Deshaun Seifu to the leadoff. 1-1 count to Seifu here. And Seifu gives that one a ride. That looks like that should be extra bases for the Fleet Seifu. Stand-up double for Mr. Seifu to hopefully get things going here in the top of the 7th. They finally made a call to the bullpen. Sam Kern now on the mound. Another right-handed pitcher, Juan Estrada, up. We will let Estrada swing away against Kern with a runner on second. And Estrada flies out to right. Seifu tags up and goes to third. So it gets the runner in the scoring position, but there's 2 outs now, so we're going to need a hit from Heiner here. And Heiner does not deliver, pops it up to right to end the inning. So 1 hit for Buffalo in the top of the 7th, but as we go to the 7th inning stretch, Washington 6, Buffalo 3. Wenzel still on the mound. We'll give him one last batter here with the lefty Filippo Sepiara. 2-2 count. And Wenzel struck him out. And now we will make a call to the bullpen, although Wenzel's been solid since he gave up that leadoff hit, but actually he may have given up 2 hits in a row to get things started, I think. Yeah, he gave up those 2 hits. Most of the runs end up charged to the starter since he got those guys all on base, but still not a perfect outing. And we are going to go to the veteran Hayden Yinger, the right-handed pitcher here. He'll be going up against Lane Chasen. 1 out. And Chasen flies out to left for the second out of the inning. And Jadel Flores now up. 0-1 count to Flores from Yinger. And Flores gives it a ride to deep center, but Wood makes the play out there. So a 1-2-3 inning by the 2 pitchers for Buffalo. Head to the 8th, down 6-3. Got the 3, 4, and 5 hitter, or the 4, 5, and 6 hitters coming up here, and Jenneret, Bolig, and Anderson. Feels like if we're going to get something going, this is probably the inning to make it happen. Fortunately, Jenneret strikes out to lead things off. Bobby Bolig now up, 0-2 count to Bolig. And he grounds out. Ooh, no error there. The throw was not good. Error on Casas, though, was good enough that I think he should have handled it. So we've got a runner on first now. Steve Anderson up. We're going to have Anderson take the first pitch. They were throwing over to Bolig, so they are concerned about him. Take another pitch here. And it's a ball. We're going to send Bolig now. After the second ball, he thinks otherwise and goes back to first. We're going to have Anderson take another pitch here with a 2-0 count. Right down the middle, 2-1. We're going to run with Bolig again. And Bolig steals on the ball, so a 3-1 count now to Anderson, and Bolig in scoring position. We'll let Anderson hit away now. And he grounds it down to third for the out. Bolig unable to advance. So Joe Edwards now up. Full count to Edwards. And Edwards gives it a ride to right field, but not quite far enough. The third out of the inning, and Buffalo is 3 outs away from losing here on opening day. Washington up 6-3 as we head to the bottom of the 8th. Joel Rogers up against Yinger, threw just 3 pitches to get the 2 outs last inning. Gets a grounder here to first for the first out of the inning. Ethan Salas up, 1-1 count to Salas. And Salas flies out to right for the second out of the inning. And the number 9 hitter, the shortstop, Cup, up now. 1-2 count to Cup. And he strikes him out. So Yinger has been good today. 5 up, 5 down for Yinger. We go to the top of the 9th, though. We're down 6-3. I'm assuming Eric Jasso is their closer. The right-handed pitching Jasso going up against James Wood here. We're going to have 8, 9, and 1 up, hopefully more than that. 1-2 count to Wood. And he strikes out. Looking. Walt Miller, the catcher, now up. I don't think we've got a great option on the bench, but we've got better hitters than Miller there, so we are going to pinch hit for him with the young outfielder Tyreek Hardage. See what Hardage can do against Gasso. And he strikes out as well. So down to the final out with the leadoff hitter Deshaun Seifu. And Seifu drops a single in over the shortstop. So a runner on first in Seifu with 2 outs. We'll see if Juan Estrada can come up with a big hit for us. Looks like that will do it, though. Estrada flies out to left field, and the game is over. Washington wins 6-3. We tried a little too hard, I think, to get Sincere Shazier a victory. After he got through that 5th inning, probably should have taken him out. He ended up walking 3 straight batters to start off the 6th. Wenzel gave up 2 hits on the first 2 batters that he faced to let all of those runs that Shazier was responsible for come in, and Shazier ends up the loser. Jeff Dover, after a bit of a slow start, had a decent performance, a quality start for the Nationals, and our Buffalo Wings off to an 0-1 start here in the 2036 season. Bobby Bolig stole a couple of bases. We did get the home runs from Anderson and Wood, but ultimately did not do what we wanted to do on opening day, and our Buffalo Wings are off to an 0-1 start here in 2036. And rather than finish the episode on opening day, we're going to play a little bit, see if we can turn around the loss on opening day and see how this month of April goes. And it's obviously very early going, but a 3-4 opening week for Buffalo after that opening day loss to Washington. So we're 2 games behind Philadelphia. Very early going, kind of silly to be even talking about where we are in the standings, but not as fast a start for these 2036 Buffalo Wings as we've had in previous seasons. And fortunately, Buffalo has been playing better over the last couple of weeks of Buffalo. After the 3-4 start, we're now 13-9, so 10-5 in our last 15 games. One game behind the Expos in the NL East as the month of May begins. Shamar Jenneret and the youngster Arturo Flores are first and second in the National League in ribbies. Deshaun Seifu with 18 steals, leading for potentially a ninth consecutive year. Deshaun Seifu also has a 15-game hitting streak going. Alexis Barajas is second in the league in pitcher WAR. The one thing I'm seeing here with Arturo Flores having played 21 of the first 22 games for us, that tells me that our managers have overridden my lineup that I want, which is the annoying part about not playing as the manager. And I don't know why they are doing that, because when I look at the game settings, I've put myself in control of lineups and hiring. And also when I look at what our manager has done, he's left me in charge of the lineup and the pitching staff. So I must have some other setting that I don't have exactly the way that I want it, which I will need to figure out. But it's kind of annoying. And clearly it's worked out for Flores to be doing that, but I wanted to be playing with the fact that he's third in the National League in ribbies. He's obviously playing very well, but you can see that Walt Miller and Tim Hull and James Wood are not in the starting lineups at all, when my intention was for this team to be a heavy platoon team and have all of those guys getting some regular action, as we saw on opening day when Wood was in the lineup. And that's the only game that he has started. So should be keeping a better look at it, but it is kind of annoying when you think you've got the settings set up to do what you want. And I had changed the lineups, and my Weasley manager has changed them back on me. Taking a look at the team statistics here at 13-9, we're a game below Pythagorean expectations at this point. 0-1 against left-handed starting pitching, only faced one left-handed starter this whole season. A little surprising through 22 games. Tied for first in the National League in runs scored, but the offense really good in some categories and pretty mediocre in some categories. Runs allowed were fifth. Our starter ERA of 2.99 is fourth. That's a pretty good ERA to be fourth in the National League. Bullpen ERA is the best. Have the best earned run average in the league, but we're somehow fifth in runs allowed. Basically in the top handful of teams in all of the pitching categories. And our defense has also been a bit above average. So a nice start to the season for the Buffalo Wings. Not a historic start, but still a solid start to the season. And I'll need to figure out the lineup issues, so we're playing the guys that I want to play as the general manager, even though I'm not managing anymore. So we'll work on trying to figure out what setting we have screwed up between now and the next episode. Until then, thanks so much for watching, and hope you have a great day.